afraid. Be very afraid.
It's amazing.
Days Gone.
The Days Gone remaster. I haven't played it yet, but I've been watching videos. Holy cow, man. That horde assault thing is nuts.
There's people who are freaking out about it.
Nuts, bro.
How many zombies now on screen do you think?
It builds. Like, it starts with, like, a small horde, and then, like, I was watching this one guy 30 minutes in, and he goes, like, hundreds and hundreds.
At least you got a flamethrower, as you mentioned earlier.
Well, that definitely
You don't
helps
get
with
it
zombies.
automatically, though.
You must earn the flamethrower.
You gotta
Amazing.
find it. It's like,
You gotta find it. You can't even buy it or put it together.
Well,
oh, there's like loot crate,
so
random stuff
very
in it.
Fallout sounds
Mhm.
like. Yeah. That's awesome, man. I can't wait for you to start to get into it.
Bro.
Well,
John's game features large hordes of zombies, whereas the movie that we are talking about this week on Xenomania doesn't have huge hordes of zombies, really. There's the illusion of it, but I'd imagine that's 20 people in costume. And you don't need it
Absolutely.
to make a creepy movie. We are, of course, talking about The Battery, if you guys are familiar. A movie I never would have known about, super easy to access, and if I wouldn't known about it unless it was for my buddy John here, I'd never heard of it. Ryan, had you heard of it?
no, I never heard of it until John mentioned it, and it was a great recommendation.
Yeah, it's a gritty watch. It's not a zombie movie, first of all. It's a zombie movie, but it's not a zombie movie.
Very character-driven.
Very character driven, very psychological. You got to be in the right headspace for this one. Don't go in thinking you're going to be watching Dawn of the Dead and be having like a blast with all these people dropping. That's not the way it's
No.
going to go.
People do
No,
drop,
it-
though.
Oh yeah, it gets really heavy though.
Yeah, it does. It makes you question your existence like multiple times. But there's some funny scenes too that we'll get into. But we'll just give you kind of the overview of the movie. You're in a post-apocalyptic setting. Are they in Tennessee? Or no,
They're in
there's a
New
guy.
England.
Yeah, they're in New England. You're right. And there's a dude who needs to drive to Arizona in it. I don't know why I
Mhm.
got Tennessee in my head. So they're in the forest, the thick forests of New England. You could feel the humidity in this movie.
Do you guys know where this is filmed?
No, where is it filmed?
Kent, Connecticut.
No way.
Really?
I thought you were
Yeah,
gonna say
man.
Kent, New York for a second. I was like, what?
No, Kent, Connecticut. In this, like, and if you watch closely, there's definitely parts that you'll recognize from like "I Spit on Your Grave,"
Oh, cool.
Okay.
and Friday the 13th Part 2 is filmed there also.
That's pretty cool, man. Got a little film haven going on over there in Connecticut.
I don't know if you guys have been to Kent, but it's a pretty place.
I'm sure. Well, the pretty places in Connecticut are they're not a dime a dozen by any means, but they're pretty much rubber stamps
close.
of each other. Like Connecticut's just a pretty. The areas of Connecticut that are pretty are pretty. The cities in Connecticut, not very pretty. They don't tend to be that pretty.
No,
No, but
no, not so much.
the non-cities,
The huge.
very pretty. Yeah, it's just a nice state to drive through on your way to Massachusetts from New York.
It's just a quick wave.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, what am I doing? Hartford, Yale's over there, New
Yeah.
Haven. Okay. Oh, there we go. We're in Springfield. Now I go west or east, or I'm on my way to New Hampshire. So, New England is a rough place to fend off a zombie invasion, though, I would say. They do mention in the movie, so the movie features two studs. That's not true. There's two friends who are both baseball players, are the main characters. We got names, guys, because my brain's made of mashed potatoes.
Ben and Mickey.
Ben and Mickey. And Ben and Mickey are they're not thriving or anything, but they're doing a pretty good job of surviving. They got it down.
Mhm,
Yeah, but
mhm.
if you see the opening, like you see Mickey playing with the CD player, right? And he's listening to the music and he's like zoning out, and Ben scares him. And it initiates that Mickey is still looking towards the past, which is an interesting concept. And then as they do this montage, Ben is like doing a lot of fishing, survival, scavenging. and Mickey's kind of in the background playing with his CD player and replacing batteries left and right.
8
It's an
batteries,
interesting
I think it
concept.
was too. 8 batteries at a clip after people. That's a tough one.
Mickey's almost in full avoidance of the zombies at the beginning of the movie, and he like it's apparent really quickly that he's just looking for community, and like they say like when the apocalypse started, they weren't friends. They just sort of knew each other. They were on the same team, but they didn't hang out together or anything. They just sort of wound up together. And you see that a lot, that it's like these two still clashing personalities.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think about that, but they're not best buds. It's definitely a union of circumstance and necessity. And it's not like it's negative either. It just is what it is. You know, Ben consistently, like, Ben is the provider.
Yes.
He's the hunter, he's the killer, he's the cook,
Mhm.
he's the stalker, he's the decision maker. And Mickey's just kind of, like Ryan said earlier, he's just kind of riding it out, doing stupid stuff like listening to a Discman with noise canceling headphones. Like, leave one out, bud. Leave one out for the creepers. The whole movie, but it does what the filmmakers, I believe, intended it to do. It causes you tension because you're like, take them off, you idiot.
Mhm. It's also a really relatable thing to do in that, like, it's blocking this world out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you think about things in a zombie apocalypse, like seeing zombies would be freaky. Hearing them in the distance is like probably
Yeah.
way more unsettling because you don't know where they are.
Right. They're just out there ambling about. You don't know if they're going to stumble upon you. And they hole up in these abandoned homes. They clear them first and then they sleep in them. And you've got to know that there's, you're never settled. You're never, I mean, you guys know what it's like to sleep in a place that's not your own home. Even that is
Yeah.
just, you're a little bit tense, you know?
You got one idol?
And even in that, that's against Ben's wishes when they do stay in a house, because not shown in the movie, but they talk about how they were stuck in a house for, I think they say 3 months
Yeah,
Yep,
they were there
3
for a
months.
while.
early in the apocalypse, and Ben doesn't want to get trapped like that again. And, again, back to Mickey and the stability, he wants to be trapped like that because he doesn't like the moving around.
Yeah. He wants some sort of home, right? Mickey's a liability is what he is. But we'll get into that. So that's the broad strokes. You get the setting and tone, the imagery of New England, like we said. It doesn't look very comfortable, but you can tell they're making the best of it in a lot of ways. They play catch a little bit here and there. They're talking BS. They've got decent food. Never shows them foraging for it or gathering cans, and they never have a short. They have I did note this while watching it. They have like a bottomless bag of supplies that they don't really reference ever. It's just a duffel that's filled with cans of chicken and tuna and whatever, and they always have what they need, basically. There's sections of the movie we'll talk about later where there's starvation's implied, but they never appear to be in need of anything or wanting for anything. It's more about Mickey's struggle, I think, than anything else, and Ben's struggle with Mickey.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Garner
Ben
does
is
a great
lone
job.
wolf.
Yeah,
Who's that,
As that's Ben, but he's also the writer and director. And
Thank you.
he does an excellent job illustrating the tension and building the characters because they're regular people, and that's the key thing to the whole story. And it starts with them being stuck in the house for 3 months.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I like about Mickey is that it would be like what it would be like with a stupid, horny teenage son during an emergency event that you have to deal with. Mickey makes some choices I think we're going to talk about as we go on. One of the things that occurs, the movie is a slow roll, slow burn, builds tension, keeps tension at a certain pace, peaks it a couple times, but really nothing crazy. You're watching it and it sort of absorbs you, is the best way I can put it. And you're forced into their mind space, which is a great job by the guy whose name Ryan knows. So
Jeremy Gardner.
Jeremy Gardner, yeah, Ben, the guy who plays Ben too. The movie itself does a great job with that. Once you see things turning and Ben losing control over Mickey a little bit too, is when they pick up these two-way radios.
Yeah.
And they start talking on the radios and they pick up somebody else on the channel. We get a little We get a little Walking Dead Negan group kind of vibe out of it.
Yep. The orchard.
Yeah. The orchard is definitely not what Mickey wants it to be. It's never shown, but you can tell it's not what he wants it to be.
And they let that sit in your head for a bit too. Like, Ben knows, Mickey probably deep down knows, but he can't help himself. He needs it. And then it doesn't hurt. So Ben's talking to the girl whose name is
Annie,
and he's always reaching out to her. So when they first hear the transmission, the orchard tells Annie, or is talking to Annie, and then Mickey comes on the radio. He's like, "Hey, we need help. Where are you guys? We're in Connecticut or wherever he says they are." And they shut him down right away. Like, "We don't need you." If it was a girl, they'd probably be like, "Yeah, come on down." But it's a guy, so like, "Nah, we're good. We don't need any more dudes." So they shut him down, and then he just harasses them over the radio forever until Annie finally talks to him a couple times again. Is like, "Stop it. Stop reaching out. They're gonna kill you." Kind of implies that somebody's gonna get hurt. And then Ben says Annie's like a 600-pound. He says words that aren't kind that I won't repeat. 600-pound lady. That's not desirable in any way, and you're an idiot for doing this. Blah 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 blah. And Mickey just seems to get more lonely at that point. He even makes them go to the house of a girl that he was shacking up with for a little bit. That's probably one of the creepier scenes in the movie. Maybe the second creepiest scene in the movie.
Oh, when he's in her bedroom, yeah, it's like he's like in the thin line of being unhinged.
Yeah.
And just like he doesn't know how to accept what's going on, so he's like stuck.
He's
He's
super
unhinged.
lonely.
Yeah, that's where I was about to go. It's how lonely he is too. He and Ben just don't relate to one another.
There's no help either. We won't get too much into it, but the three of us happen to work in a place where we see those types of helps coming out. That's just how I'll describe it and leave it at that. And then you think about what it would be like for these people when they're just out there and it's them, and it's kind of Darwinistic in a way. Mickey's not meant to survive this. He just can't handle the solitude. Even with Ben, he's alone.
Yeah. And he even tries.
I mean,
he tries.
Mm-hmm.
Tries
He's
to do
not
what Ben
alone
does.
when he's in the back seat of the car by himself.
So we get into that. So part of his loneliness comes through in the fact that he wants to be with a woman badly. There's more to it than that. Like Ryan mentioned, the orchard, and he really wants the community aspect, but he's super horny. And we're not going to sugarcoat it. They've got a scene in this movie that is alarming. My wife was reading her Kindle while it was going on. She didn't look up once, and I was like, "Thank you." But Mickey's chilling in the car, and I think Ben's fishing or something. He's like, he goes away.
Ben is showering. He's showering. He's
that's right,
showering in that waterfall.
The writer-director
So
decided to show us
you go
his
from
dong.
this sort of you go from this sort of like discomfort of thick Ben with his big beard.
I hate your choice of
dancing
words.
around under the water, and then
he means thick because Ben's fat. By the way,
and there's
listeners.
the full-on dong.
Yeah,
It just flapping around while he dances. So you cut from that
like
back
poet,
to Mickey
everybody.
in the back of a station wagon with the headphones on when, I mean, you can't lie. Living, it was probably a very attractive woman.
Yeah.
Dead, it's,
a zombie. Yeah,
a
dead.
zombie.
It's zombie lady.
Yeah.
Right.
But you could definitely still see that she was probably kind of attractive when she was not a zombie. And she gets right up to the glass on the window and starts, banging on the window. Well, Mickey has some needs.
Yeah, and he starts hitting the jackrabbit in the back of the car, and it is uncomfortable, and it goes on for a while. Like, they don't just cut it. It's long enough for you to be like, "Come on, dude."
Until the bang happens when Ben shoots the zombie in the head.
Ben comes back and wipes out the zombie with his limitless ammo. By the way, we never brought that up. The fact that they never worry about ammo and he never has a problem reloading the gun. He's
Definitely
got
a
this
cheat
little
code.
revolver. Well, not even it's a pretty big revolver actually, but yeah, he kills the attractive zombie, and then laughs at Mickey and he's like, "You finish up, man. I'm just gonna head over here." And just the mocking, I think, makes Mickey worse. It's not even mocking. He's just being. I mean, he's laughing. It is funny.
Yeah.
But I think. It makes
I
Mickey
mean,
worse.
if one of you guys and me were the last two guys that we knew, and I caught one of you doing that, I'd find it pretty hysterical too.
There's not much else going on comedy-wise.
At least it was in the
Pretty
back of a
funny.
Volvo, not in a
Pretty funny
Volkswagen.
circumstance. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got that going. So good times. Good times. Things go from bad to worse. They end up just by chance running across this guy in a car that's run out of fuel, seemingly, and he's got the car in the middle of the road, and the guy puts a knife to Mickey's neck because Mickey's super good at putting himself in dangerous situations. Oh, wait, we skipped. When Ben ups the ante with their relationship. Yeah. Ryan, you want to
Yeah.
go through that one?
So they find an abandoned house, and Mickey loses his shit on Ben, right? He's like, I just want a quiet night. And Ben agrees. And we have a nice scene of Ben dancing, listen to the music, because he
Lot of
takes
whiskey.
Mickey's. Oh, yeah, a lot of whiskey.
Yeah.
A lot of whiskey. But he takes Mickey's Walkman. He's having fun. Mickey's more alert. And then the next morning, Ben finds a zombie tied up. And he leads the zombie to Mickey's room and locks the zombie in there with Mickey so Mickey can kill it. And I understand the scene, but it's horrible at the same time. I did feel bad for Mickey.
Oh, absolutely. Like that's one of those scenes that sort of says to Mickey, Ben is a way bigger danger than the zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, Ben's just
Like-
trying to make his boy, like, turn his boy into a man kind of thing, because Mickey
Yeah.
refuses to do any of the killing, defending himself.
It's-
He's like a child.
It's a horrible way.
I agree. I get where Ben was coming from. Like, if you're going to live through this.
It was probably the only way it was going to get him to do it.
And then Mickey got real mad. So things were a little tense after that for a while.
Yep.
Then
He starts fishing with him, having
Yeah.
fun.
they get over it. They get through it.
Throwing
we get-
apples at each other. And
Yep.
which is Mickey was the pitcher, so catcher's got a
Yeah.
cannon too, though. Catchers usually
Yeah.
have a great arm.
Yep.
So Adam Kronheim, who played Mickey, was actually an amateur baseball player.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So you get a little like, because that's one of those things. If you watch enough baseball movies, it's hard to fake somebody knowing how to play baseball.
Yeah.
And that sort of adds to it in those moments where they're playing catch. Like it adds to the believability that these two guys were baseball players.
All he had to do was throw that one good curveball too in the beginning, and you were like, "Yeah, okay,
Mhm.
that was a curveball, all right."
Let's see
It's
your
cool. It does
change-up.
add to the believability. Yeah, the
And
change up.
while we're on baseball, I think like if you don't know baseball really well, you miss where the title of this movie comes from. They're the pitcher and catcher. In baseball terms, that's the battery.
Ah, okay. I never even knew
See-
that. That's pretty cool.
And without knowing that, it's just, why is this called the battery?
Well, I thought
Yeah,
it
you
was
think
because
it's layered.
Batteries all the time.
Yeah,
think
that's
it's
what I
layered.
thought.
Or even
Yeah.
like you go into like, well, like what's like Mickey's losing his charge kind of thing. He's like, yeah, but
Okay.
that's a reach too. But even then, I don't even know if we got the director on this and we're talking to him. Be like, I was really hoping somebody would get that deep. That's a reach. Or that's a literature.
Well,
thing.
yeah, I mean, there's so many that like I found so many of these things in there. So they played for a Pittsfield, Massachusetts minor league team.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Pittsfield is significant to baseball history in that it's the first recorded reference to the sport being played.
Oh, neat.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so there was a law banning it within 80 yards of town hall, and that's the first recorded baseball thing.
That's cool though. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Pittsfield.
I mean, I watched the making of, and it doesn't come up that was intentional, but it feels like it has to have been intentional.
yeah. I mean, it might have been.
Makes
I mean,
sense.
if you're from this area, there's no shortage of minor league baseball teams.
True.
So
Hudson
to
Valley
choose the one
Renegade.
that has that significance. Yep. I mean, in New England, there's bunches of them.
I wonder how many.
I'm sure I could figure it out.
You might be the only one who's willing to at this point. But New England's baseball is part of New England's DNA. Baseball.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
Football.
Yeah, baseball, though, I think would predate it, wouldn't it?
Oh, true.
You think?
Oh,
Boston.
absolutely.
Red
And
Sox.
there's like a
It's cricket on
the
steroids.
the Northeast New England like sort of has held on to that baseball love where other parts of the country lost it.
But yeah, I would agree with you.
Because you have the storied franchises, you have the Red Sox and the Yankees, and like those are big parts of the history of those cities.
True.
Yeah. Even like getting into like White Sox and things like that too. There were the Black
Mhm.
Sox at one
Mhm.
point. There's all of the Dodgers and everybody all started in New England. Then then they had to plop them in other places as populations grew.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, buddy, baseball is big. So, all right, the battery is a cool idea because that is the unit on a baseball team. That's the most important part. And then we see the unit break down. And that's when they finally meet Annie, who's not a 600-pound evil giant. She's an attractive-ish young lady.
If only Mickey kept
With
quiet.
with a bit of an evil streak.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely evil. Well, not evil. She's got to do what she's got to do. She's got no
She's gotta-
problem getting it done.
She can be polite while she's doing it. She had an attitude.
She was
I
nice
feel-
until Mickey asked that question.
True.
I feel like even in that though, like her response is so over the top.
It was a death sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, they also, so what she does is Mickey finally recognizes her voice. This guy they run upon is fleeing from the orchard. He stole one of their cars. He puts a knife to Mickey's neck, and Ben bamboozles him into thinking that he can take their car and flee to Arizona. He doesn't. The man ends up screwed. Ben reclaims his gun, and the man runs through a field, and Ben chooses to kill him instead of letting him just run away, which is another interesting note.
Mhm.
And then soon thereafter, like conveniently soon thereafter, in the same scene, another vehicle's rolling up, and it's Annie and some goon, and they start chit-chatting. They say, "Oh, this is our car. What happened to the guy? Oh, I shot him. He's out in the field. And
He was
wasn't a good
turned."
guy." Yeah, he does lie and say he was turned. And everybody seems okay with it, and then Mickey's got to ruin everything. Because he asks Annie,
You're
"Hey, are
Annie."
you Annie?" Yeah.
He recognizes the voice.
And she immediately shoots Ben in the leg.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No care about the
And
femoral artery.
It's weird too because at that point you've gone, a good 20, 30 minutes of the movie without Mickey bringing up the orchard or Annie. He seems to have moved on from that concept. And then she shows up and it's all right back there and he can't keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
He's got no control. It's just he reverts quickly. Everything
Yeah.
was forgotten. It's scary.
He's like I said, he's like a child.
Yeah.
Once the Annie leaves them, Ben, bullet and leg, and they go to bed. Right? They get in the
And-
car.
The keys
No,
are
Oh,
first.
they throw the
Ab-
keys. Yeah.
He throws the keys into the field
Yeah.
and like, they show the rest of the day Mickey searching the field for keys that he's never gonna find.
That is
Nope.
brutal. They try to, yeah. Then they go to bed, and when they wake up, there's a horde walking up on them, and they have to hole up in the car, and that's exactly what they do for. It doesn't say how many days, but you assume it's around 10 to 15 days they're in that car.
They're drinking
It's
the
a good
water
number of days.
from the tuna cans and the corn cans. And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I was gagging at that scene because I was like, Jesus. I mean, you got to survive, but oh, come on.
Oh, the
You
humidity.
want another gag on that scene?
What's that?
The piss jug?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
That's wasn't it?
Real piss.
No way.
Yep.
Why would he do that?
That's real acting. That's method acting. That's Robert De
it's-
Niro
You don't
level.
need to go that hard. You don't need to go that hard. No, I'm
And
not.
apparently the biggest issue in filming that scene was Mickey's feet stunk.
I bet they did. You could feel how humid that car was.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they mentioned the feet stinking.
That was real.
I think they do.
Yeah. They mentioned the feet stinking. Mickey ends up, finally they decide Mickey's got to go back and run. He's got to get out of the car and run. There's this really wacky sunroof in the vehicle, so they use a hand crank to open it up, which is kind of cool.
Mhm.
he climbs out and goes looking, and then they show Ben like milling around in the car. I think it's all the same take, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's no cut. It takes like a few minutes, and then Mickey does return, and he's bit and has nothing else going for him.
That was a
And
great scene.
oh,
It was
good.
very tense, and it's just like that back and forth of like, I was bit, and he's like, I'm gonna have to kill you, and he's like, no,
Does he ever
yes,
say
no.
it? I don't remember if he said it. Yeah, he did say it. That he has
He's
to
like,
kill
hold
him.
it. Well, oh yeah, he's like, I'm sorry, and he pulls the trigger.
Yeah, I don't know if he straight out says I have to kill you so much as it's like one of those things where it's you know what I have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there goes, and he shoots Mickey in the head in the car, and that's brutal. It's not
Yeah,
like
it's-
brutal because they're best friends. It's kind of brutal because they're not. I don't know
Mhm.
how to describe it. It leaves you feeling a little empty.
Yeah.
And how seemingly easy it was for Ben to do it.
Oh yeah, he's very
Yeah.
logical with it. Just
Yeah.
bit, bullet, done. Plus, there's a few things in it that are not really flushed out. Ben has a bullet in his leg. They don't
Yep.
discuss whether or not it went all the way through or anything like that. They don't discuss the bleeding. They show him change his bandage once, but they never show him take his
Mhm.
pants off. This is still you can still get infections. These are not like you don't just get shot. So they kind of do the same thing they do with the endless bag and the endless ammunition. They just ignore that. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
is just a thing that got us stuck in the car. We're not going to talk about gangrene or anything.
No.
And so after Ben kills Mickey, he decides to go up through the sunroof and try to find the keys as well, or just get away. And you see him at the end limping ahead of the horde. Presumably he made it through them
Mhm.
and got there.
So while they're stuck in the car, at one point they were discussing a plan, and it was the plan they had used to escape the house they were trapped in. And essentially, it was let's open doors and let them come in, and then we'll go out another way
Yeah.
while they're all piling in this one way. And Ben and Mickey had determined in the car it wouldn't work. But well, after Mickey is dead, that's what Ben does. He pops the trunk and he goes out the sunroof.
Yeah.
And it gives him, like, he limping, it doesn't give him a huge head start, but it gives him enough that they're slow, he's going to stay ahead of.
And the thing about it is, it wouldn't have worked for Mickey because Ben was still in the car. If Ben had gotten out with Mickey, it would have worked, but Ben stays in the car. Mickey goes looking
Yeah.
for the keys. So that's really what kills him. It's like Ben's need to survive sort of kills Mickey, which is another interesting thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say they talk about this plan, right? And then he's like, "Hey, Mickey, go try to find the keys." Maybe he
Mhm.
sent him up the entire time.
It's possible. Ben is very strategic. We figured that out.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that they sort of miss in that moment is Mickey being healthy enough to run still could have led the mini horde away from the car for long enough for Ben to get out and, make their getaway together.
Oh, that's smart too. Yeah, good point.
That could have worked, but I think Ben kind of went into survival mode and he's focused on himself. But he kind of is trying to redeem Mickey's death because he's leading that horde to Annie and the orchard.
That's what I like to believe. I like to believe that he gets out of that car and he hunts down the orchard.
Yep.
Yeah, you would hope. Part of me thinks he might not, though. He was very practical. And I don't know if he's vengeance driven either. He didn't, I mean, Mickey was his partner, but he wasn't his family. He wasn't his friend. He didn't have love for Mickey. At least I don't think he did.
It's interesting because Mickey, they talk about connections before the apocalypse. Ben, that really doesn't come up much.
Yeah.
You get the impression that Ben hung out with people, but not so much as friends or anything, just entertainment maybe.
Yeah. There's a cool little scene where Ben listens to some of Mickey's music in the car. The music itself is pretty cool. Where did they sample that from? Because they definitely highlight it. Is there significance to the music at all?
I don't think so. I think they did get I forget which one of the songs was recorded specially for the movie and then re-recorded because it didn't come out how Jeremy Gardner wanted it to.
Oh, really?
Okay.
That's kind of cool.
I guess the original version that they had recorded was kind of electric and upbeat almost, and he wanted, the acoustic sort of downbeat version, and they went back and re-recorded it.
All right. So that's pretty cool too.
I feel like upbeat would have ruined the whole thing.
Yeah,
If you
absolutely.
that
Unless they were
slow.
being ironic about it. It felt like Juno a little bit with the way they were using the music.
God, yes.
Especially the beginning. Beginning scene felt like Juno to me so hard. But it was just good. It just humanizes him a little bit too. Just this kid getting lost in his beats kind of thing. But yeah, that's the Battery. I mean, we just picked it basically down to the bone. It's a good watch. Sorry for the spoilers; they're implied at this point, but it's a good watch. If you want to watch like a pretty nuanced, almost indie-ish,
Very.
It's
film.
very indie.
Yeah,
Very. So this is a $6,000 budget.
and that comes through too. That's why we say there's no giant horde. You have to use your imagination and assume the numbers are meant to be like 10 times what you see on screen. My assumption is like the boom mic guy's sister is one of the zombies, and like how they go about it like that, because everybody's sort of young. And it feels like they're part of the crew.
So, and like in typical like zombie fashion, there's nods to Romero in the funding even. So when Romero was making Night of the Living Dead, he asked 10 friends for like $600 each to fund Night of the Living Dead. Jeremy Gardner did the same thing as like a tribute to the Romero DIY concept.
That's cool. It is cool.
Yeah.
That's a nice homage right there.
It's neat.
They got the Volvo for $600.
I mean,
That's not
it's
bad
fair.
deal.
Fair price for that Volvo house.
Didn't survive filming.
That's a shame, actually.
Nope. So in the making of documentary, they're talking about how like the rest of the crew is talking about how they thought Jeremy Gardner was hoping that would be his car after they finished filming.
Aw.
Okay.
Because it's like
And
a
then they just
Volkswagen,
ended up-
guys.
Yeah.
It's like a pretty sweet vintage looking one. We're talking like National Lampoon style better. I've never seen a car with a hand crank sunroof before.
That was
pretty
cool.
That's old school. That's like those old European cars.
Oh yeah.
Those top model stuff.
Yeah, it was neat stuff. But yeah, is there anything else about the movie in particular you guys are sitting on that you want to bring out?
Now we covered everything that I wanted to cover. I just think it's an excellent film, and everyone should give it a chance.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And listen, there is a really phenomenal physical release from Scream Factory. Highly recommend it. And then like you get outtakes, and the outtakes are like complete opposite mood. There's so much fun in there.
Yeah.
There's so much fun in the outtakes. And you get the making of, and it's just a good watch.
Cool.
Nice, man. All right. Well, that was The Battery. We're going to roll into top fives. Everybody. Ryan, what do you got for us this week? Baseball movies?
No, I should have. I went with actually Trapped.
Oh, cool.
Movies where characters are trapped. And we're going to start with a M. Night Shyamalan produced movie. I know I messed his name up so badly. But
he's moving.
And he's moving. I know. It's staying in.
That's why I'm not putting him on any of my lists. I don't want to have to say his name.
Well, Shyamalan Ding Dong. The first movie is Devil.
They are trapped.
Yep.
My mama said when the jelly side of the bread drops down, it means he's near. I turn the movie off as soon as that happened. The worst M. Night ever.
Bokeem Woodbine's in it, and I do like Bokeem Woodbine.
That's the guy who says the line, I think. Pretty sure he's the dude who says the line. He's like, yeah, when the bad luck comes, it means he's nearby. I'm just like, yeah, this is so stupid. All right, but it is, in Ryan's defense, it is a movie that involves people trapped in an elevator with presumably the devil.
Yep, and the death scenes are pretty cool. They're decent, especially in that trapped area. It gets tense, and it's like very claustrophobic. And You feel it, and it's like,
It-
I don't want this.
It's got moments. It's got some good moments.
Great pick. What's your fourth
Very-
movie, Ryan?
Damn it. My fourth movie, I'm standing by Devil. I like Devil. My fourth movie is actually Cube
Oh, sweet.
from
Way to redeem
1997.
yourself. Yeah, I was gonna say. All right.
Cube, 7 individuals trapped in a bizarre and deadly labyrinth of cube-shaped rooms. I mean, this is pre-Saw, technically.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
right.
People trapped, going through, like, these cube puzzles and stuff. It's a,
You remember the
it's a really good
lasers?
watch. That's the second
Like
one,
the
I
special
think,
effects
right?
are so bad. Oh yeah, you're right.
They're horrible, but that's what makes it so good.
Yeah, Cube's a great
which-
watch.
Well, it kind of leads into my third pick, which is the 1999, the remake of House on Haunted Hill.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I like Vince.
Trapped.
Yeah, I love Vincent Price's version, but Jeffrey Rush, Famke Janison, Taye Diggs, Ali
There's
Larder.
another
Bridget
CGI
Wilson.
nightmare. That movie
It
when the big
is.
bad pops out, and you're like, ooh,
The Black
it's
Ghost Mist.
bad CG. Yeah.
It's another bad.
It's
but
that
good
time
movie.
period, though.
Yup. Like
1999.
frighteners and stuff. Yep.
Mhm.
I
Like,
still love it.
There's that stretch from like 95 to 05 where where effects are just
They
Like,
rely
it's
heavily
like-
on them, and they're real bad.
yeah, it's like a transitional period in the technology almost, and it like they just did not age well at all.
The one I bring up all the time for that would have held up if they just didn't screw up the UFOs so badly with the green was Independence Day. They used modeling for all of the explosion scenes and destruction of the cities, but the UFOs and the dogfight scenes, which is a
Mhm.
substantial part of the movie, the
Yeah.
CGI is so bad. You could make better on Adobe After Effects in like 10 minutes now. It's
true.
so bad.
That's pretty sad. I mean, it's cool, but sad at the same time because they had how much money?
A lot.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're on
lot.
mute. But
Yeah.
speaking about a lot of
filled in
money,
the a lot for me.
a lot. But to speak about a lot of money, this next movie, this company has a lot of money, and they trapped their 80 foreigners, mainly Americans, in their company, and that's the Belko
Oh.
experiment.
I remember this. This was an
That's-
interesting watch when I stumbled upon this movie.
Great movie. John C. McGinley, Michael Rooker. I mean, they're in supporting roles, but they shine, as always. And it's just terror. Imagine if they did
it's the
that.
crowd terror, man. That's the scariest. I mean, I don't know if Mist is going to be your number one. I hope it is, but it reminds
Ooh.
me of the Mist, because of the way that the outside threat is threatening, but the inside threat seems more threatening. You can't trust a single person in that office after the
No.
first 10 minutes of the movie. No.
And I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm thinking of a lot of scenes, especially the ending. And the ending, that fucked me up.
Mhm.
Like The Mist.
Yeah, like the Mist did.
But
So there was another movie that came out right about the same time with a similar premise called Mayhem
yep,
with Stephen Yeun.
Oh,
Yep.
the Yoonster.
Yeah.
was that
No,
good? I didn't see that one.
That was very good also. Highly recommended.
You guys see, speaking of Trapped, did you see Sweet Home, the Korean movie, subtitles only? It might be dubbed, but don't watch the dub. Subtitled on Netflix. Blew under everybody's radar. I think you guys should give it a shot just for the special effects. You're going to be impressed by this limited series budget. Well, actually, it's not limited series because they did do a season 2 based on the success. The effects and the costuming of the monsters are phenomenal. And it's basically like a zombie outbreak, but instead of zombies, everybody turns into their own unique monstrosity, which
Okay.
is super cool. And they're all stuck in an office or in an apartment building.
I
in
just
like
wrote it down.
Seoul. Yeah, it's called Sweet Home. I think you guys will dig it. Listeners,
down
give it a
for it.
shot too. It's a kind of a breakout one for the creator, and it breaks out. They don't, but it does.
This is a kind of good lead in because we're speaking about different types of monsters and stuff. My last movie is not The Mist. It's actually Cabin in the Woods.
It's a good one too.
because they're technically trapped across the bridge. They're trapped in that little island.
Ooh, you didn't make a believer out of the big guy in the middle there. He's
Just
giving you
because
the
they go
whole head
underground.
wobble.
I
Yeah, and they
mean,
release
this.
all the creepy crawlies.
I'll admit, I
No,
know
I
what you did
love.
last summer is a long stretch for 4th of July. I'll finally admit it if we can accept Cabin in the Woods as number one. All right.
I think that one is a better choice, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I like all your choices, man. I like your list.
Like,
They're very Ryan.
so like the last 20-25 minutes of Cabin in the Woods, I really like.
Okay.
It's the
Worse.
hour plus before it. I don't so much.
Too much
It's the-
Hemsworth.
I don't like
much
it's
Thor.
just.
Yeah, too much.
I
Too
don't know
much
what it
traps.
was. But I've watched it a bunch of times, and it just doesn't connect with me.
It doesn't connect as a horror movie. It connects as a campy action film to me. And then when they
Yeah.
go eldritch with it, or cosmic with it, I should say, for like the great old ones, and it's a sacred, and that's cool. I dig that. But I want to see the second. When that
I want
presumably, I want to watch the Earth get burned for what happened.
I want to see a prequel.
That'd be cool too. Anything. I want more story. Give me more.
I mean,
Like
they
shit's
allude.
cool.
They allude to so much. They allude to with Evil Dead. There's a lot of homages. Evil Dead, Hellraiser, Merman.
Merman. Don't forget a merman. I like that part too, where they have to like figure out what's gonna happen with them. But Cabin Fever would be a good trapped one too. Then he gets honey trapped into like life-ending VD.
That would have been good.
Sean from Boy Meets World makes a bad choice with a good-looking lady. When you do not want to be touching skin, he touches some skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I bet you 8 out of 10 guys, 4 out of 5 dudes are falling into that trap, but not me. I don't care how much Listerine's laying around. I'm not doing it. That's the most memorable part of the movie. I don't remember anything else about the movie except for him pouring Listerine on his junk. But they are trapped in Cabin Fever, right?
Yes, they are.
I guess
They're-
a lot of people.
They
are trapped.
they isolate themselves mostly in the entire film as their skin's peeling off. I'm just thinking of the bathtub scene.
Yeah, that's so hard to watch. All right, John's top 5. That was a good one, Ryan. That was a good one. I don't want to think about that anymore.
Thank
John's
you.
top 5.
So I went close to what you wanted. I went 5 sports movies,
Okay, that is
Ooh,
close.
Okay.
5 sports horror.
Running
And
Man.
like I
Major League.
went very B, very unknown-ish.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I guess
So-
you'd have to. I can't think of a single sports-based horror movie that's true horror.
Mhm.
Maybe The Running Man
Yeah.
might be one. Maybe.
I
Stretch.
stretched sport a little bit. You'll
Yeah.
see.
Like the
Okay.
Long
'Cause
Walk
there are
movie is
definitely-
going to be sports.
There are definitely things on here that I don't necessarily consider a sport,
Okay.
but my number 5, Fatal Games.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Athletes at an elite sports training academy are being killed by javelins.
Wheat. I'm curious.
The surviving athletes must team up to track down the killer.
The good alpha to have right there. The most elite, dangerous athletes, the javelin thrower.
Yeah, man.
It's great.
Like you get a little PED subplot, a little romance.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of dead athletes.
I mean,
By javelin.
I love it. I love it.
So my number 4, Gutter Balls.
Is this like Kingpin, but better?
Roy it's like
Munson.
Kingpin with a psycho killer and
So it's like
some
Kingpin.
soft core level
P-word.
adult scenes.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
I mean, those are my 2 favorite things: bowling and softcore level P words.
Well, that's
So
gutter
let's-
balls.
Let's go, gutter balls.
Gutter balls. Midnight bowling alley goes straight into the gutter when a deranged killer starts to off people in the most gory ways. No one will be spared if they can't stop this maniac.
You know what's gonna be great about this movie too, because if it's so raunchy, the fact that they were like, we need in this movie that takes place exclusively in a bowling alley, You know what we need, Alice? Lots of sex. Because people totally bone in bowling alleys everywhere. I think the least arousing place might be a bowling alley.
I was gonna say there are very, very few places in the world that are less sexually exciting than a bowling alley.
You can
There's
smell
nothing
a bowling
exciting.
alley right now, and like the memory of all the bowling alleys I've ever been in, I smell it. It's the same smell as
Yeah.
the car's ashtray.
Yep. and I'm sorry, you're not gonna get me going while I'm wearing somebody else's shoes.
Yeah,
It's-
fair. Fair.
It's true.
Were these the last guy's shoes?
Do you do everybody in these shoes?
Yeah.
Are you just attracted to the shoes?
She only goes for the 11 and a halves. All right. Gutter balls is good all around, except for that little plot twist. But the Big Lebowski's the horniest thing about bowling alleys. That's
Well,
it.
Yeah.
he's the dude.
He's the dude. He
Yeah.
just brings the swag.
Yep. So my number 3, iced.
Hockey or figure skating?
I'm hoping figure skating
Neither.
right now. Oh, damn.
The cutting
Neither.
edge. Neither.
So, years after their friend dies in a skiing fall while trying to impress a woman, a group of young adults are invited to the opening of a ski resort. Things go downhill as an old nemesis returns.
Ooh,
Okay.
I'm digging it. Ice skating
So-
downhill, you say?
Super low budget, recently lovingly released and restored by Vinegar Syndrome.
Okay.
It definitely, they do with everything. They make these movies that nobody's ever seen, that nobody really would care a whole lot about. They make them so beautiful and they're so much fun to watch.
Cool. That's Vinegar Syndrome. That's what they do.
Yeah.
We're going to have to start a policy where you explain that I'm the idiot. Your job is to explain these things to the idiot. So everybody who's idiot or not picks it up too. So Vinegar Syndrome.
And
that's
I
what
mean,
they do.
listen, if you want to visit one of Connecticut's not so pretty cities, Bridgeport, Vinegar
that's the
Syndrome
not so
has-
prettiest. That's the not so
Vinegar
ist.
Syndrome has a physical store.
And it's
Cool.
awesome.
In Bridgeport? What the hell are they thinking?
And
It's
like
awesome.
in
you guys
burned
went,
out
didn't you?
Bridgeport.
Yeah, I was going to say there's
I,
two
I
Bridgeports.
go on a
One's worse than the
semi-regular
other.
basis.
That's wild.
this
The
is-
drive out there is
This
wild
is
too.
this is like the dystopian part of Bridgeport where this is the only thing that's open.
It's
There's
true.
no rent. You just have to get there alive.
Yeah.
That's like it. Every day.
It's
to go
like
to
the
work.
Warriors.
I mean, so guys, there's a lot of like defunct factories and warehouse space style stuff in New England cities, particularly in ones like Bridgeport, Connecticut, where just certain things like tactile mills and stuff that just aren't in these areas anymore because they can't dump all their shit into the rivers. The EPA put a stop to that. We'll see that come back soon. But I digress. So like that stuff, New York State is filled with stuff like that. There's towns that were all centered around cheese factories and stuff.
Mhm.
Factory goes under, there's no way to make money in the towns. So you just have these populations of like 10,000 people with nothing for income. So that's what they're describing. Imagine like a bombed out area with no money, a couple skittering drug addicts here and there. And that's the area of Bridgeport. There are nice spots in Bridgeport, just not many.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like a lot of the towns along the Hudson River. The closer you are to the river, or in Bridgeport's case, to the sound that you are, the more work they've done to make it nicer.
Yeah, the waterfront areas are really, really sweet. There's still, I remember thinking to myself, I don't want to dox us, but the towns, some of the towns that we live near, where there is cheap real estate by the river still, I'm wondering how the hell anybody with money hasn't already scooped it up and started restoring it, because it's going to be multiple millions of dollars
Not
to
yet.
be on the Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
okay,
yet.
Anyway.
There will be.
Anywho, what's that? What are we on? Number 20? What is that? 3?
That was 3. Number 2 is Blades.
Of glory?
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Nope.
And
And not
two Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Snipes.
Not
Nope.
one, but 2. Oh, okay.
Nope.
Passenger
in Blades-
114. Who got the
you're gonna
joke?
Love this one. You're gonna love this one.
Okay.
Telling you. A runaway killer lawnmower plagues a golf course as it prepares to host a televised event.
Is Bill Murray in
Three
it?
survivors must stop the lawnmower before it drives through the competition.
Prequel.
Yes, it's
Prequel to Lawnmower Man.
yeah. Prequel
No,
to Caddyshack.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, Blades, indeed. There's more than one. That's cool. Touch Hub's really
Kearns.
lost his hand.
Actually, that's also a Vinegar Syndrome release.
I mean, it sounds
Okay.
like most of these are going to be.
They have some good movies, though.
Yeah.
All of them are good.
No, they have some contracts with major studios. They put out Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. The
The
original?
Prophecy.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Because I said
They
a
did The
remake.
Prophecy.
Vinegar
They
Syndrome
got
did the Prophecy? The
Yep.
original
Well-
release of it?
Yep,
All three.
yep.
What?
They
Without
did
that,
Congo.
we have no Aragorn.
It's-
Congo was a hot mess, but it was our
Mhm.
hot mess. We own that. The book is
Yeah,
way better than the movie, by the way.
I'm
Book is
sure
really
they
scary.
usually are.
It's Crichton too, which is good Crichton. But anywho, all right. Number 1, zeroing in.
Number 1, Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowlerama.
All
Another
right.
bowling movie.
Bowling did well on this list. I
It
don't think it's
did.
a sport, but bowling did well on this list.
It's like billiards too. I don't know if that's a
Mm.
sport.
It's an activity.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some hate
It's-
mail from Bridgeport specifically about this
I
topic.
mean,
How dare
listen,
you?
if it
I don't think we're
doesn't
getting that
cause your
accent.
heart rate to go up, it's not a sport.
Fair. That means
Fair.
that puts to bed badminton then though. It's one of the most strenuous activities a human can perform.
It's a
Badminton.
sport.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
a
sick
sport.
sport.
So
all
for
right.
those who have not seen Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowlerama,
all of us.
sorority pledges and some male friends break into a bowling alley to steal a trophy as an initiation rite.
Pretty sick.
They also unleash Uncle Impy, who grants them wishes with a striking twist.
Pretty sweet right there.
Uncle Impy.
Uncle
That's
Impy.
pretty sweet. So there's basically a fairy, an elf of sorts. It's pretty sweet. All right, cool, man. That
What
one
if
actually is very.
That
That
was a
one's
good
got a little,
list.
a little gin. That's got me intrigued. I might have to. The title does not bring you there at all. That's awesome.
No.
But all right, guys, that's the top 5, and that was The Battery. Shockingly, one of the episodes where we actually stuck to the movie for the entirety of it, I think. Except
Well,
for the
yes.
very
Really
beginning.
good.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
so I don't know if that's going to make it better or worse, but you let us know in the comments.
It's a change.
Like and ascribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and sub. But anyway, yeah, guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time, all right?
Have a good one, guys.
See ya.